Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to play my instrumental version of Beat It. So hopefully you've already seen the full performance video of it. If you haven't, just check the description of this video. You'll see a link to that. And we are now in E flat tuning. So make sure you tune your entire guitar down a half step, every string down. If you don't know those notes, those will be in the description as well. And then you'll be able to follow along with this and the original recording as well. Okay, so now let's take a look at the first verse in the song. Sounds like this. All right, so what's going on there? So I'm just kind of emulating the vocal line, and wouldn't you know it, it's straight out of E minor pentatonic, or E flat minor pentatonic if you want. All right, so who knew that Michael Jackson liked the pentatonic scale? So we're going to start here with this phrase. All right, so I'm just trying to emulate a lot of the vocal qualities by doing some bends and then, adding little inflections here and there. So you can do your own thing with it. But we're going to start here with the... Now the other parts before this and the actual main guitar solo I've already taught in another video, so make sure you check that one out. There will also be in the link in the description for that one as well. That one was done a long time ago, so this is just the instrumental vocal parts I'm really covering in this video. So I'm going to start there with the bend there, the 14th fret on the G string, and then play that same note there on the B string, so it's kind of like bending into that note. So I took that twice and then do the bend again. Back to the note on the B string. Now I play the 14th fret on the G without the bend. So that's just 14, then 12, 15, 12 on the B string. Back to the 14 on the G. And then end it with a quick bend and then cut that bend off on the 14th fret on the G. Now you hear me throw pinch harmonics all over the place. It's just kind of a feel thing. Just do what you want with it. It's just accenting certain notes. And then we have this. So that starts the same way. Kind of the same thing. Then so that's just bend to the 14th fret, 14, 12, and again, and then ending with that bend again. So all together so far? All right, now it's the endings of the verse lines that are always kind of vary a little bit. So this is the ending of the first verse line. Each verse has two lines to it. So this is the first line of the first verse. And we have this. All right, so we have this. So that starts with bend, then 14 normal, 12 on the G, 14, 12, 14 on the D. All right, kind of get that vocal phrase. And then we have this. So that note is going to add the second of the scale there, the F sharp there. Well, it's, we're tuning on a half step, but this is kind of related, so it's in standard tuning here. We have this. So 12, 14, over to 11 on the G, then 14, 12 on the D, 14 on the A, back to that 12. So we have this. Then we have this 14, 14 on the D. So that's just that 14 on the D, and then go 12 on the G, back to the 14 on the D. And then pick that 14 again, and this time go 11 on the G, 12 on the D. So I have this. So all together. All right, so that's the end of basically the first half of the first verse. All right, and now we continue with this, the same thing we did before. All right, so that's the same that we did before, and now it's the end of the second line of the first verse, which looks like this. So just slight differences. All right, so that ending of that line is this. So this, the bend, the 14th fret on the G, then 14, 12. Then the 14 on the D twice. So like this. Then do this. 12, 14 on the D, over to 11 on the G again. Back to the 14 on the D, and then the 12 twice. So we have this. All right, and we're going to end this phrase with the 14 on the D to 12 on the G, back to that 14. All right, so all together. And you're going to end the whole first verse section like this. Almost like a pre-chorus little line there. So we had this. So it's a bend at the 14th fret on the G, over to 12 on the B, 15, back to 12, back to the 14 on the G, bend and release. You put a pinch harmonic like that if you want. All right, now let's take a look at the first chorus. Here's the performance clip. All right, so now let's take a look at that chorus. The first phrase sounds like this. All right, so the most important thing here is just to keep the notes in tune when you're doing that bend. So it's a big, long bend that you got to hold. So it's a 12th fret on the B string. Then basically bend to that same note you just played off the from the 14th fret bend on the G string. And then do that again. And then we kind of do similar to what we did in the verse. So that's just bend on the 14th fret, over to the 12 a few times on the B string, and then 15, 12, 15 twice. All right, next phrase. All right, so that one's kind of funky. So you want to kind of get, I'm doing a kind of a pre-bend every time going into the 14th fret there. So kind of pre-bend a little bit, and just release it real quick. And then 12, 14. And then again, 12, 14. Now I'm throwing a little some kind of muted notes in there. Quick little muted. I'll do it slow. So that is kind of like just giving you that kind of rhythmic punch that how he's doing that vocal line. He's obviously a very rhythmic singer. So we have, and then again. And the second time, after you do that pre-bend, this is 12, 14, 12. So everything here is just really based around 12 and 14 on the G string. So pretty simple stuff if you know the vocal melody and the phrasing of it. Then leaving that, we have this. All right, so that's basically, so that's just 14 on the G string, and then 12 on the G to 14 on the D, and then back to the 14, then 11 to the 12 on the D. And then real quickly grab 14, 11 on the G. So we're kind of doing, there's little vocal overdubs there. We're doing them all. So we have this. And then again. And I just end it with this little, it's really a D power chord up here. 12th fret on the D, 14 on the G, and 15 on the B string. You hear kind of a vocal thing like that going on as well. All right, now we get to the second verse. So let's watch that part of the performance real quick. All right, so let's take a look at that. Now, the good thing is we already know that first vocal line. So remember, each verse is two vocal lines. So, and you see that each vocal line had a different ending. Well, the good thing here is this first vocal line of the second verse is the exact same as the first verse. So it looks like this. So that's the exact same thing there, but now we're going to add, after you did that, a quick little, I do that in performance, you can tell there's a little vocal trill there. It's kind of a harmony thing going. Just to kind of emulate it, I just did a quick little trill between 15 and 17 on the B string. All right, and now we're basically now to the second half of the first verse, of the second verse, and it starts the same. All right, now we have the last basic verse ending. This ends the second verse, and this is probably the coolest part too. It sounds like this. So that was really rhythmic, and it adds a few more notes to it. So we're going to start here. The 14th fret bend again. It's very similar to the earlier endings, by the way. So this. The 14th fret bend, then 14 normal, just play 14, 12. Then we're going to go over to the 12th fret on the D. So 12, 14 on the D, over to 12 on the G. Then back to the 14 on the D. So let's just look at that real quick. All right, and then we start back over here at the 12 on the D, you go 12, 14, over to that 11 on the G. Then back to the 14 on the D and 12 twice. So we have this. So all together. All right, so it's a little bit more melodic material than the previous verse endings. And then we end it with this. That 14 on the D, back to 12 on the G, back to that 14. And that same ending that we led into the first chorus with. All right, so all together for that last little ending. All right, now let's take a look at the performance of the second chorus. now what I'm going to do here is we're doing the second chorus, but it kind of goes into the bridge section that leads into the guitar solo. So that's what you saw there in the performance. So I'm going to just go through all that real quick. So we're going to start, it's really played the same as the first chorus, it's just twice as long. So we have this. So we basically just skipped that little and just repeated the melodic part, the chorus. All right, then we lead to that section that leads into where it would be the bridge that leads into the guitar solo, and that's just, you kind of, there's little vocal echoes. I'm just doing that from 12 on the G to 14 on the D. Then grab the power chord of the 5th fret on the A string into the 7th. Similar to what we did in the rhythm video for this. Little E power chord, and then you're back to the vocal mod. And then I go into the actual, really into the actual solo section, which we've covered in the solo video. All right, so now all we have left is really the last chorus, where I have a little bit of different lick in there that emulates one of his vocal lines. Let's take a look at that. All right, so what's going on that's different there? It's the same vocal melody. It's really kind of done 4 times on the track that I'm playing with, but it really just kind of fades out on the recording. So he starts the same way. That's coming out of the guitar solo. And then the second time around, you hear this. I'm just kind of messing around with it there. So the actual melody he's playing is just kind of a bend at the 14th fret, 14, 12, and just go over to end it on the D string, 14th fret. And then we have that. That's the bend of the 15th fret on the high E a couple times. Just pick it normal, then a half step in at the 14th fret, bending into that 15th. And then his vocal melody stops, but I kind of keep, just kind of take it down the little pentatonic lick to end it, and then start the chorus over. And it just ends with just 12 on the G, 14 on the D. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy playing this instrumental version of Beat It. It's not very, you know, obviously the solo is kind of crazy, but the actual vocal melodies are fun to play on the guitar. It actually makes a great little guitar instrumental. Who knew? All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.